broskies, it's Sona.
I did a lot of questionable things as a kid. I chewed on balloons, put mustard on my string beans and got bullied for it, but by far, the craziest and most concerning thing I ever did was draw my teacher. But Sona, that doesn't sound bad at all. How did you get suspended for that? Well, naive viewer, allow me to elaborate. It was in 5th grade, the year before middle school. As much as I hated middle school, this school was the worst. I know I wasn't the brightest in the bunch, but I swear all my teachers hated me, possibly for good reason. Of course, the kids were no exception. One of my most prominent memories in 5th grade was when a kid I barely knew randomly decided to accuse me of pushing him. Bro, I don't even know you. He was bawling his eyes out. Bro had god tier acting. I can't even be that mad. He had talent. Naturally, the teacher believed him and I got in trouble, of course. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a dare he was told to do by all the other kids to get me in trouble for the giggles. To this day, I'm still confused about it. But believe me, I was no angel. It all started when I was in recess. I didn't really talk to anyone. I always preferred to be solo and do my own thing. I was near the swing set, kicking sand, when this kid came up to me. We'll call him Jimmy Neutron since his head looked like a peanut. Jimmy was one of my bullies. He always made snide remarks and said random stuff to piss me off. And it always worked. He also stabbed me with a pencil once. Sona, guess what?
What?
What? Okay, listen up because this part is important. The recess lady who keeps watch, I'll call her Miss Suzanne, was standing directly across from me and Jimmy Neutron. So I knew she could hear everything, including what he was about to say to me. With confidence, Jimmy smirked and said, "You're a..."
NANI?
But I wasn't gonna take any of that. Well, you're an idiot! Immediately after I retaliated, Miss Suzanne looked at me and went, "Hey Sona, that's not okay.
What?
Time out for the rest of recess." As she pointed to the brick wall. What? Did you not just hear Jimmy Neutron call me a... You've lost your recess privileges. But he called me a name first. She completely ignored me and took me over to timeout. Meanwhile, Jimmy Pooptron was smiling as my freedom was taken away, facing no punishment whatsoever. So I faced the wall and took the L. Guys, I was so mad. I was fuming. You could smell my anger from a mile away. What's that smell? And so, this begun my anime villain arc. I stood there for the remainder of the recess, plotting my revenge on Miss Suzanne. I'm just kidding, guys. I wasn't actually plotting anything while I was in timeout. I was angry, yeah, but while I was waiting, I was really just super hyper fixated on the brick wall and counted as many bricks as I possibly could until the time was up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Oh, I lost track. I tried to talk to Miss Suzanne while I was in timeout to express my frustration and why it was unfair, but she was literally like,
"You have the right to remain silent."
Like she was a police officer or something. Woman was really out here treating me like I just got arrested for a serious crime. Finally, after years of waiting, the bell rung. And believe me when I say I was the first kid to book it back into the school. I was stomping in the halls like I was Godzilla. I angrily walked back to my homeroom, grabbed a paper and pencil, and sat at my desk. And so, the drawing began. Anyways, I'm gonna describe this as family friendly as possible. I drew Miss Suzanne flying in the sky, holding onto a spaghetti noodle, along with tomato sauce dripping from the sky and creating a pool of ketchup. With the words above, written in the scariest font 10-year-old me could think of. I hate Miss Suzanne. Yeah guys, this totally isn't what you think it is. You better like the video. By the way guys, I do not condone this type of behavior as this can get you in serious trouble. Though I don't regret any of it. I held up my drawing, proud of my creation. I was satisfied. And right after committing my heinous crime, I felt a dookie come in. So I got up from my desk to use the bathroom. However, I made the grave mistake of leaving my drawing flat on my desk, out in the open for everyone to see. Yeah, bad choice. I returned to my desk only to find my drawing was gone. It was gone. I panicked, looking around the room. I glanced to the side and I saw my drawing in the trash can. Who put it in the trash can? The room is empty. No one is here. Oh God. I looked behind me to see that my teacher was standing in the doorway, glaring at me with probably one of the most disgusted faces I've ever seen in my life. I was terrified. What? Principal now. Oh no. I hesitantly made my way down the hall to the principal's office. By the way, the principal of this school was terrifying. I know a lot of cartoons have depicted principals like evil Disney villains, but she was no exception. She was the tallest woman I've seen. So yeah, I was intimidated. The door was already open for me, with Miss Giraffe staring bullets at me, looking like Sasuke from Naruto. She was the anime villain now. I sat down. Do you know why you're here, Sona? I clogged the toilet? Yeah, my bad. School lunch will do that to you sometimes. What? Okay, are you the one who drew Miss Suzanne? Yeah? Well, I'll have you know we take this very seriously. This behavior is not tolerated here at school. We see this as a very big threat. Apparently, 10-year-old me was a serious threat for a drawing. I can't really blame them, as you never know what to expect. But the idea of me being a threat for a drawing made me giggle. Wait, so if you consider me a threat and went as far as to contact the police, don't you think you should keep the drawing as evidence instead of throwing it in a trash can? No. Are you gonna ask me why I made that drawing? No. Okay. Would you like to apologize for your actions to Miss Suzanne? Nah. I swear you guys, I was the most stubborn kid in the world. I absolutely refused to apologize for anything, even if my life depended on it. As bad as it sounds, I found nothing wrong with what I did, and I thought it was completely justified. Anyways, long story short, I was suspended from the school for 10 days. The school contacted my mom, and surprisingly, she sided with me, telling the school I was merely expressing my emotions with my art for being unfairly punished, and she was pissed they didn't punish my bully. By the way, even if you're treated unfairly, you still shouldn't do what I did. I just thought I'd reiterate that if there's any mortified parents watching this video. Me being suspended didn't change much though, besides me getting a vacation. But to be honest, I can't say I cared much. As a 10-year-old, not having to go to school for 10 days was kind of a win, especially since my mom wasn't mad at me. I can't remember how it was after I returned to school. All I know is that I continued to dislike Miss Suzanne, and I think she felt the same way. Sometimes I wonder, how did this whole situation make Miss Suzanne feel? I never talked to her after that or about the drawing, but I wonder if she even saw the drawing. I don't get paid enough for this. I think after that whole thing, the last altercation I ever had with Jimmy Neutron was in middle school, where he kept pestering me and I finally had enough, so I pinned him up against the wall by the collar of his shirt like an anime protagonist. I had a lot of anger issues as a kid, okay? By the way, I didn't even get in trouble for that. The teacher in the room was just like, okay. I honestly just feel like as each grade passes, teachers start to care less and less about students fighting. Hey, you stole my ice cream sandwich. No, I didn't. They're big kids, they can handle themselves. Have you guys ever been unfairly punished in school or experienced something similar to this? Let me know. I'd love to read your stories in the comments. And have you ever drew your teacher? You know what, never mind. I probably don't want to know. Also, let me know if you want to see more story times, as I have a lot of stuff to share. Bye!